Welcome in right on time here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live here on this Tuesday morning, as we are brought to you every single day here live in the UDL. We'll be talking some recruiting. We have landed Uncle Al. Uncle Al will be on the show here at 8:30 this morning. Uncle Al, of course,
Big
Harold
fish.
Perkins, five-star linebacker. Talked to him a little bit yesterday on Twitter. We're going to go back with him on he's on Twitter at Mr_NO, a.k.a. 504, as he will be here at 8:30 this morning. We'll talk to him all about recruiting, as tomorrow will be the opening of the early signing period. Lots of stuff to get to, lots of excitement going on as we are trying to still trying to track down my man Sonny Ship. Sonny's been going through getting some stuff done around the house for the last couple of days and been in and out of service, so at some point we'll link up with Sonny Ship from Go247 and get the latest on what's happening with LSU as they come into this National Signing Day, the early signing period, where it looks like a lot of the stalwarts that they've had here, Will Campbell, Walker Howard, Emory Jones, some of these guys, even Ty G. Hill, who I think Tulane made a really nice run at Ty G. Hill over the weekend.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow. He's NOLA, though.
Gave him some of the A's. Big NOLA guy. So we'll talk about the class coming up here. Remember, every single day our official spice is Papa Earl's. Papa Earl's is located wherever you shop locally. High Neighbor, Rouse's, Calandro's, 30% less sodium than the competition. Pick them up, and you can find them on social media at Papa Earl's. Our water is True Blue Water, trubluewater.com, trubluewater.com. And then our phone line is always brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan. Get in touch with our friends over at Metropolitan Health Group as they bring in our phone line here today, as Uncle Al will be here at 8:30 this morning. Hopefully we link up with Sonny Ship at some point to talk recruiting.
Might not need Sonny if we got Al. He'll give us a scoop.
Yeah. I feel like Al's not going to bite his tongue at all about what's been going on here.
Another recruiting violation for us.
Why not?
Why not?
All right, so we are about 24 hours away from the early signing period, and it is definitely going to be interesting to see how LSU makes a run at this thing. Guys like Kendrick Law and Shaz Preston. I don't think that the feeling is too high on Preston after last weekend's visit to the University of Alabama, but it will be interesting to see how some of these things shake out over the next 24 hours. So we got a lot to get to here on the Jordy Culotta Show. The LSU basketball team plays tonight, and they're back on the floor versus Northwestern, and it looks like LSU's trying to find a defensive coordinator. Brian Kelly looks like he may be zoning in.
I saw that they're mentioning the guy from Kentucky.
Brad White.
DC from Kentucky. I don't know anything about him, though.
Yeah. Brad White is been on Kentucky staff for a year, and then prior to that, he was with the Indianapolis Colts organization. We remember Kelly was really going after Marcus Freeman. Obviously, Freeman gets the Notre Dame job. But White has his defense in 2020 really every week was climbing up the ladder up until it was Kentucky's top-ranked defense under Stoops. And it led in just about every statistical category. It'll be interesting to see if this is the guy.
How are they this year?
Yeah, this year.
You're talking about this year?
Yeah, this past year. They
led
really
the
good.
country in turnover margin, didn't they?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That was Kentucky's kind of calling card.
Forced 22 of them. Yeah, I mean, if you remember,
run the ball and play defense.
If you remember going into the LSU game, they were like plus 13 or something.
Yeah.
It was like some wild number on the giveaway takeaway stat. Yeah, I think that was Ogeron's death nail.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of the day that you.
What
knew
about
it was
OC?
Over. I mean, like there's a couple of names that have kind of popped, but I mean nothing that has really stood out that makes you say, yeah, this is going to be the guy. But everybody you talk to behind the scenes says that, especially from a recruiting standpoint, that the message on the recruiting trail has everybody like, okay.
Pretty fired up about it.
Everybody is in a good place of what
so
they're.
Maybe the OC's still doing something. I don't know. I don't know why they would not hire a guy and still tell the recruits and get the recruits comfortable enough with what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Did you see what the interview with Tommy Rees? There was I didn't see all of it. I've only seen clips of it, and then it was kind of going back and forth in our group text. And he was like pretty candid about like the whole deal, like the whole situation, like what's going on. And like the more I listened to it, the more like I'm glad he didn't come here. Didn't seem like he was ready for that moment. And it wasn't like he was admitting it. It was just how he was saying things. He admitted LSU was like the big time. You know, it just kind of felt like he just wouldn't have been the right fit. So I know people were like, well, if Tommy Rees and them don't want to come here. But I think that we kind of maybe dodged a bullet there.
I don't know if I really read into the staff not following him as much.
I didn't either.
You know, I don't think that it was a bad sign.
No, me either.
You know, on Brian Kelly. I think that if you hire within like they did with Marcus Freeman and you give coaches the opportunity not to move their family,
right,
not to take their kids out of school, not to uproot and sell their homes, I think that they're going to take that choice.
And he ended up getting, who did he get? Someone just came in from Notre Dame, the strength coach.
Yeah, and
they thought that he wasn't going to get him. We got assistant.
You got an assistant, Flint, who I've heard really good things about.
Look, that video seemed, I mean, you could, listen, everybody's worried about, to me, that's the least of my worries. One, because there's a lot of talented and experienced strength coaches out there. And strength, you want to bring the energy. You want to be able to understand what works for your players. You want to be able to communicate and relate to your players. And, you know, for me, I think that that's not that hard. I don't say hard. That's the wrong word. But I think that you can find those guys. I think those guys are easier to find than, let's say, a top-notch DC or a top-notch OC. So I think we put – I mean, I love – Tommy Moffitt, like
sure.
I'm close with him, but you know, as far as like, oh, we're not gonna find a guy who's good as a strength coach, I think that's just not really understanding the scope of, you know, what's going on.
Well, that industry over the last decade in sports has hit just electricity. I mean,
go look at how Alvin Kamara trains. I mean, all he trains with is core stability, balance. You watch him. He's standing on like a Bosu ball, or not a Bosu ball. What's those?
I think it is Bosu ball.
It's the agility, whatever the stability ball. He's standing on those. He's catching stuff. He's doing, and he's still working, doing some of the other stuff. But they're incorporating. It's just there's a lot more technology and a lot more information on what works for different people, and obviously it's a little bit harder in college. Because you don't have as much time to specify or make every workout specific to that certain person. You can try, but there's just too many guys. You don't have enough time to do individual stuff. But at the same time, there's a lot more information out there, and I think that strength and conditioning is evolving.
One other thing that I'm hearing a lot of is that people are really liking the staff that Brian Kelly and the way that he's putting it together. Not just at LSU. I'm talking about like recruits that are still out there and still open. One of the hires that I think, you know, we may not be talking about a lot is special teams coach Brian Polian, who is really well regarded within the game. LSU's got a big time commitment in this class. That is a place kicker that has been for a long time. It is
this the number one kicker in the country?
I believe he's the number. I believe he's the number 2 kicker. Nathan Dilbert, who is a Michigan.
That's one of those names.
Native.
Dude. I mean, that's a tough one. You better be good at something if you're a Dilbert.
He was in Baton Rouge this past weekend for the last of the official weekends. He committed to LSU under Greg McMahon, who was a phenomenal special teams coach. I mean, really and truly, I think that the special teams coaching over the last couple of years has really been tremendous, and it's going to be kept up with Brian Polian. His dad is NFL Hall of Famer Bill Polian, who's the executive.
Yeah.
He comes from that coaching tree.
Bill Polian's getting a lot of heat about the
Lamar Jackson.
That's his lasting legacy, which is unfortunate.
That will be
got drafted Peyton Manning.
That will be on his tombstone.
You're right.
It feels like
he's associated with Peyton Manning.
Put together all those Buffalo Bills teams in the early '90s and went to all those Super Bowls. Four straight Super Bowls.
Jim Kelly.
We mentioned the Jacob Flint hire, and Flint's hire is very well regarded and well respected within the industry. He also brought over Xavier Gooden, who played for him at Notre Dame, was out at USC, and has really good ties in that community. So, I mean, slowly but surely, his staff is coming together. We mentioned White, the defensive coordinator out of Kentucky, that seems to be getting some looks right now. Obviously, there's some type of agreement or something put in place from an offensive coordinator standpoint because, as we said, in talking to recruits and talking to people that are kind of going through this process, they're very cool about LSU. Like, it's not as if they're freaking out and asking a lot of questions. They really do understand that there's a lot going on here. But one of the names that keeps coming up is Mike Denbrock, who is the offensive coordinator over at Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's obviously in the playoff.
Their offense is good too. I mean, they have. Yeah. I mean, Ritter was in the Heisman contention for most of the year.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I don't know outside of what I see on the field. I don't know anything about him like personally or where he's been, but I just know Cincinnati's offense is pretty solid.
And one thing to get back to on on Polian is that, you know, like we mentioned, his dad comes from a personnel background. That's kind of like why and how he loved getting into football. And by all accounts, like, he's like a big-time recruiter.
I would imagine.
Like a big-time evaluator. A big-time guy that can, you know, go out, watch, come back, give evaluation, and really, like, put things on the line on whether or not an offer should go out. I mean, you saw LSU offer a couple of guys immediately. Yeah. Julie Boudouin spoke about this yesterday. Jordan Allen, Landon Ibieta, of guys that kind of jump off the top that were like, why aren't these guys getting offers?
Yeah.
These are pretty easy evaluations to figure out that these guys, and not only that, they would crawl to LSU.
Yep.
Like
there's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot to be said about I mean, because these guys aren't 2-star recruits. These are 4-star recruits. Like, they're
3 and 4-star guys.
Yeah, aren't they're not both 4 stars?
No, I think Ibieta's a 3-star.
Okay. Well, still 3 and 4. Like, they're good players. They're talented players. And it's like, would you rather this 4-star who's maybe rated higher, but like not really sure if he's committed and like to the program, he just kind of all about himself and wants to do whatever, or would you rather a guy who's a 4-star, maybe a little bit less highly rated, not as highly rated, and but loves LSU, wants to be here? Like, that, to me, that goes a long way.
Well, LSU needs that right now.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think that's one thing that Brian Kelly came in here and he saw that the culture was pretty ridden and riddled with guys that were looking at LSU as just a quick stop to get to the next level. And while it needs to be a feeding ground and almost a lab for the NFL, you also have to restore the pride in the program to build it as a consistent winner. And you have to do that with people. Mm-hmm. You got to do that with players. And you got to do it with people that want to be there. I mean, and first and foremost, that's where LSU needs to find. And a guy like Landon Ibieta, who's a big-time player, a guy like Jordan Allen that's sitting in Lafayette as a big-time player and coming from a program that's given you a couple of players over the last couple of years. It's coached by one of your former greats in Trev Falk over there at Lafayette Christian. I mean, you're talking about Sage Ryan, talking about Fitzgerald West, who's in this class, and now a guy like Jordan Allen. I mean, you know, those are the guys that if they're on the fence and they want to be here, those are the guys to me that you give the scholarship to over the cat, you know, from Philadelphia and from West Virginia and from Kentucky and Tennessee. I mean, those are the guys that you got to get on the team, because in 3 years when, let's say, some BS hits the fan, they still want to be here, and they still have pride in the locker room to keep it together rather than looking to the transfer portal and just flooding out or trying to get to the NFL. And, you know, I think that's how is a piece of the formula of what LSU's looking for in trying to build consistency. That is what I think Brian Kelly was asked to do by Scott Woodward when was looking to fill this job. I mean, they want consistency. They want to be a player every single year in championship discussion. And
well, that's how Saban built it when he first got here. Is he relied on the in-state guys and the guys who had grown up watching LSU, the Marcus Spears and the Marquise Hill,
Michael
Clayton, and all those guys. Like, that's who he built. That's how they built the foundation, and then just grew from there. And obviously, like, I'm not saying you stay just in Louisiana, because you have to recruit nationally to compete with Alabama and all the top schools. You have to. But you want the core part of your team to have that Louisiana flair and that Louisiana, the pride of being from here and wanting to play for LSU.
I think that message plays now more than ever, right? Yep. After you saw what happened with the 5-star guys that did commit to LSU and were on the roster, and you didn't see really anything come from it, and none of them, like, you got those guys nationally, like you got Arik Gilbert from Georgia, you got John Emery, you got from Louisiana, but he was going to go to Georgia,
right? And
you just all of the players, Eli Ricks from California,
yep.
All of these guys that you wanted in or heralded in or coveted, but none of them stuck it out at LSU and were able to, either hit the transfer portal or not play, or pretty much just used LSU as a lily pad to get to the NFL. The message of going to get an Ibieta, and maybe he's a 3-star guy, but he's committed to LSU, and then you do have the talent from Louisiana around him that you can build, and these guys, like you said, are in for the ride, and I think that's the most important part of LSU, building the foundation back, but it's also probably the easiest sell at this point to the fan base, because they want guys that want to stick around now, as opposed to getting the 5-star that they think is going to leave.
Yeah, and for me, I don't really look into, like, the ratings. To me, like, yeah, they're fine. I mean, some of them are great, but, like, man, there's so many people out there. There's so many players out there that you put them in a program and you put them under, like, a different type of coaching and strength and conditioning program. And we've seen it with some of the greatest players that come through LSU. Like, 3-star guys are better than the 5-star guys that we've gotten. And to me, it's like, if you want to be here and you're good and you're talented and you have the ability and you're willing to work and commit to it, I don't care about your stars. I don't care about your rating.
Later, bro. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, rmb-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew over at RMB can help you out building a custom design home. They can help you with a remodel project. If you're looking for any type of help, any type of handiwork done around the house, Rhett and his crew can help you out. They're really helping us out over at the New DL. Get in over there. We're looking to be over there sometime next week, probably before Christmas, as things were really kind of starting to hit some grease over there this week. And Rhett Bourgeois has been instrumental in that. We appreciate him over at RMB. RMB-builders.com is where you find him online. Jack Carpenter inside of the bunker. Hey, Mikey, you find any of that Biscuits gear yet?
I hadn't been to my mom's house in Lafayette.
Oh, it's back in Lafayette. That's right.
Lafayette.
Brandon Dixon writes in, Polian is a master recruiter. Look at the players he has brought in. Kyle Rudolph, for example. Brandon Hollingsworth follows that up. Polian recruits offensive and defensive players, several 5-star quarterbacks, says Hollingsworth. Goes on to say Polian recruited guys like Jimmy Clausen, Manti Te'o, Dane Christ, Michael Meyer.
Dane Christ.
Top 5 tight end in the country, and Kyle Rudolph. Wes Shin says that LSU's not getting any of the announcements from the recruit this week. I don't know, Wes. I think that they're probably expecting a pretty nice day tomorrow. Maybe not a big day.
10?
Yeah, right around 10.
They said, what, 10 to 15, right? That's what they're talking about?
I would say probably
15 to 12.
Yeah, I'd say probably over 10, under 15.
12 and a half?
Yeah.
I don't know who the half is.
Push.
Lucky guy.
The half. The half.
The kicker.
But let's see. Don Tomazano says, how has the recruiting portal changed? Or excuse me, how does the transfer portal change recruiting? I mean, did you see the activity in the transfer portal yesterday? Just by the quarterbacks alone.
Calzada.
Just by the quarterbacks alone. I mean, forget.
Not enough schools.
They have had.
Oh, there's plenty of schools.
I read where between December 1st and December 12th, 220 players went into the transfer portal. Over 200 players entered themselves into the transfer portal between December 1st and December 13th. And guys like Dylan Gabriel, who played at UCF, Spencer Rattler, who left
South
Oklahoma
Carolina.
and now landed at South Carolina.
I like
I'd say
that.
kind of under the radar.
Like
Shane Beamer has had
Yeah.
a really good first season and made an impact up there at South Carolina.
Did they get 7 wins this year?
I believe they did.
I think they're
I know that they're
7-5.
bowl eligible.
I know that they love Shane Beamer.
They
I mean,
should.
they're
Yeah.
great.
They
I mean,
should.
They were solid.
won like 3 games with a walk-on.
Yeah. And like they got good vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Coming
I
out
mean,
of
look,
that program.
Rattler's not going there if
He sold his ass for
if
sure.
they're not going the right
Absolutely.
direction.
Slovis over at USC
Oh yeah.
put his name into the portal yesterday. He's a 3-year starter
Yeah.
in Southern California. I mean, he threw for 58 touchdowns, nearly a 70% completion percentage at Southern Cal. Going to be a graduate transfer option. Going to go into somewhere. We know Miles Brennan. We know Max Johnson. Bo Nix. We talked about yesterday.
I still don't understand.
Zach Calzada, who Mikey just mentioned, had a huge couple of moments
Bama.
this past season, beating Bama. He was kind of pushed into the starting role after Haynes King went down early in the season for A&M. But I was pretty impressed with the way that Calzada handled that season. He had some low points.
Oh, yeah.
But didn't we expect the lower points to be greater than the high points?
Yeah.
And I thought that the high points kind of balanced out some of the bad that you saw with Calzada. He didn't expect to play. I don't think Jimbo expected him to play extended time like he did this season. And to see the reps that he was able to get and pull out of that program and the steps that he made, you know,
They won
really
10 games, right?
Right. I mean, like
Yeah.
it would leave you as an A&M fan, as a staffer, thinking, wow, the future's bright at quarterback, right? Like, I mean, like it's not – we definitely have something to work with.
Yeah, but if you're Calzada, you go, I think I put up enough to I don't have to go into a quarterback competition because I think Jimbo's guy is
The
Haynes
Haynes-
King.
yeah.
Sure.
So he wants him to play.
Apparently-
He knows that it would be a
2,100
A battle.
yards, 17 touchdowns compared to 9 interceptions for Calzada in year
I
one.
mean, that's an okay. That's an okay. I mean, it's not a great year, but it's an okay for. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he was not getting first team reps.
right. No, I agree. I think he had an okay year. You could just tell he was a freshman. Do you think that Nussmeier playing in the same amount of games would have put up similar numbers? Because I feel like their games are a little different, but same situation where you're a kind of a guy that hasn't played yet, thrust into a situation. I think that Nussmeier would be.
I think if Nussmeier
around
was
there.
put into that the Jimbo offense this year, I think he probably would have had better numbers. But I feel like the offense this year just wasn't.
I mean,
It wasn't good enough for him. It wasn't creative enough. It didn't help the quarterbacks out enough.
I think what I saw against Arkansas and Nussmeier is that if he would have played an extended time, that the defensive coordinators in this league would have ate his ass up, right? Like the more film that he put out there, the more predictable he would have become. He is a game-breaking type player where he can change the scoreboard on any play, which I love, and I value those types of players. They don't need to play young if they're not prepared to play as youngsters. And Nussmeier, for really the discussion, I mean, he's not ready to play, and that's okay.
There's not many freshmen that are ready.
It really is, and for him to be mismanaged the way he was
probably the best
as a
ones,
rookie, really and truly, it's not Nussmeier's fault. Sure, I mean, he walked into the office and wanted to play. What the
course
hell
he
do you
wants to
think he's
play.
going to say, man?
Coach, I
course he
appreciate
wants
you
to
sitting me
play.
down and not letting me get in there. I really learned a
Right.
lot.
Now you have to be his coach. You have to manage him. You can't put him into the game the next week as a starter or, after the first series and let him struggle and keep him out there in an SEC game when you've got another option on the bench.
Who also
You
threw
sure as hell
27 touchdowns
can't
last year.
allow him to make the decision on what his future is going to hold. I mean, like, he can have some input, but, I mean, you got to coach him. You got to manage him. That's what he was missing as a freshman. So, I think that the Nussmeier film would have been able, would have probably been easy, especially with what he was playing under this year, to probably defend against. And as a youngster, I don't want to sign up for that. As Nussmeier being young in the program, I want him to be on an evolution and a track where he doesn't take a meaningful snap for 2 years. I mean, that's not going to happen now. But I mean, I would have, in a perfect world, you've got Max Johnson coming back as an experienced guy, and Nussmeier's still a backup type player, but getting reps and understanding the speed of the game. And by the time he's in his third year as a redshirt sophomore, he's your starting quarterback. He's seen it. He's been on the sidelines in road games. He's seen the venues. He's heard the crowds. He knows what game weeks are like. But now he's 20 years old. He's got some experience behind him, and he's ready for the moment, rather than just thrusting him in there against Arkansas as a true freshman in a situation where you're not really well prepared. The team is not. The offensive game plan is not any good, and it's really kind of setting him back more than it's progressing him.
Do you think that's when maybe they found out that Max Johnson was interested in hitting the transfer portal? So like, all right, let's see what we have in Nussmeier if Max Johnson's going to leave.
Think so.
No, I think
I'm just wondering if that's when the announcement came, or was that the reason that he decided to transfer?
I think that's more of the reason why he decided, like, man, what are we doing? And then I think that maybe after some conversations that he's had after the season, he probably realized, okay.
Because how many teams have 2 quarterbacks that have entered the portal? I think LSU is the only one.
Think about this. Think about Max Johnson's class, Kayshon Boutte, Arik Gilbert, all these guys that are in this class. The adversity that they've dealt with and the recruitment that they went through. And I'm not making excuses for them at all. But their college experience compared to what they think it was going to be like has been totally flipped upside down. Right? You were watching a team, if you were being recruited, this class was being primarily recruited within 2018 and 2019 is when these classes, when the guys on this team that should be the high-end players, the Kayshon Bouttes, the Max Johnsons, the guys
Ricks,
that were the top, Eli Ricks, the guys that were the top players in that class, should be kind of evolving into the juniors and the leaders of the team. And now all of the change, all of the adversity, all of the off-the-field stuff, all of the losing that they've had to deal with has just been a totally different experience than what they thought they were signing up for. And to me, I thought Max Johnson probably got to the end of his sophomore season, saw that they were firing Orgeron, bringing in a new offensive coordinator, Walker Howard's coming in, Nussmeier and his dad are kind of out in the media talking about how they want to play. He's probably looking around and saying, look, man, for the first time ever in college football, there's more power on the player than there is on the administrator. And I can really kind of go set myself up and walking into a program and a setting that is just much more calm than this and much more stable than this. And LSU's probably going to be a lot more stable 2 years from now than they are today. But these are the guys that have to really kind of sweat this thing out and have to build it. So I'm not saying that I support transferring. And I'm not saying that I'm for the transfer portal. But if these are the rules that are governing the game right now, then I really do understand why these guys would choose that option. And I think that's one of the things that Brian Kelly, his staff, and really the administration too, to a degree, have to stabilize for the football players. And I think that process has begun. But for guys like Max Johnson and guys like Kayshon Boutte, who we asked on Sunday night, kind of where you are, where are you going to be in the spring? For them, it's been a topsy-turvy roller coaster ride where you're going into your money season. And you think Kayshon Boutte thinks he's going to be in Baton Rouge a year from now? I mean, he's going to be preparing for the NFL draft. Do you think Eli Ricks thought that he was going to be in Baton Rouge a year from now? He thought he was going to be preparing for the NFL draft. And I'm not saying that because it didn't work out exactly how you thought the book said it was supposed to, that you have to just give up and wave the white flag. But when you've got options to go other places where it's stable and they're winning and they're much more on track and on course to do things that you want to do, I get it. I understand it. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Max lands. I'm pulling for Max Johnson.
Me too. I like Max Johnson. I think there's things that he didn't really improve on this year, but I think that he threw 27 touchdowns with less than 10 interceptions.
And think about the weapons that he lost.
Yeah,
and he was rolling whenever he had Boutte.
In a season where you have a new offensive coordinator, you have a lot of turnover, you have an absolute dumpster fire as far as organization and leadership and all of that, and he was the guy, and he went out there every single day, and he got his shit pushed in. He got hammered, and some of it is his own doing by holding the ball too long, but he every day showed up, got back up, made some plays. Yeah, it wasn't what everybody wanted to see. But you know what? Like 4 or 5 years ago, before Joe Burrow ever came, we would have loved to have Mac. And I know it's a completely different era, and it's a whole different team here now. Like, we're not the run the football down your throat, play unbelievable defense, and punt and just whatever. We're not that anymore, which is great. We don't want to be that. But throwing 27 touchdowns and what do you have, 6 interceptions or 7, whatever he had, like, that's a good season. Like, you can win games like that. And there were some times where he didn't do what he needed to do, and he didn't improve in the pocket, and he was slow getting rid of the ball. I understand all of that. But this man went to work every single day, and he got taken out of a game in Arkansas as a starting quarterback. He started, had a slow start, got taken out of the game, didn't get put back in. We lost the game. Comes out the next week, and he beats A&M the last game of the season. Like, this guy was not given. I mean, he's given opportunity, but he also was put in positions where, like, man, this sucks for a young quarterback. This is technically his first full season starting. So, like, I like Max. I think he's going to be good. I really do. I don't think he's going to be great. I don't think he's going to be a first-round draft pick, but I think he's going to be good. I think he was good. I think there's things that he could have gotten better on, and maybe going somewhere else, he'll improve in that.
Carl Roberts says LSU has never had an established coach like Brian Kelly until now. LSU is poised to become a dynasty. Brian Kelly will bring in the right staff and will unlock LSU's full potential. Seville Jr. says Max Johnson was put into a frying pan.
Yep.
Hope the kid does well and gets into the NFL. I really liked him. Don T. says they let Pete's stay so he can call his 3 Tecmo Bowl plays in the bowl game coming up. Mark Vaughn points out that four-star recruit wide receiver C.J. Williams just decommitted from Notre Dame this morning.
There you go.
Brandon Dixon at Jordy, how bad was Coach O and leaving the roster in shambles? I think that people are really realizing right now just how bad the roster is.
Hammered that too.
When you look at LSU, yeah, for sure. Dad Cajun says, how is Verge Osbury still employed at LSU? Does he have naked pics of someone with a sheep at a party? He does not, Dad Cajun. I think a lot of people are reacting to Austin Osbury choosing Auburn yesterday. And
but that didn't shock us.
Not a lot of shock here on this show, and I don't think that a lot of people around the recruiting world are very much shocked to lose Austin Osbury outside of Baton Rouge. We have kind of pointed out some of the scenarios with Osbury over the last couple of days of him growing up around LSU, him and his brother, Jaden Osbury, who's the younger player over at University and probably the more highly touted. Austin Osbury played at around a 3-star status, 4 stars in some services. Jaden Osbury is going to be a 5-star in just about every service once the grades come out on this class of 2023. He is a stud that everybody in the country wants. LSU is on him, has been on him. And Austin Osbury's recruitment was kind of weird. It kind of started a little slow. It picked up when the season started, and then it kind of ended with a lot of offers. If you saw his table yesterday, he had some big-time schools on the table. Michigan, Notre Dame, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Texas were all on the table and represented. I mean, he had a really nice recruitment, but I don't think
narrowed
that
it down there, huh?
when yeah, right.
Run out of room.
But I don't think that at any point during his recruitment were people saying with pure certainty that he was going to LSU. I think at times it looked like that it may be trending and LSU might be taking a couple of good steps forward, but it was always with a face of, I don't know if they're going to be able to get him, just because of the dynamic in which we had kind of talked about for the last couple of days. Growing up in the area, Dad's an administrator. Dad played at the university. A lot of stuff has gone on around the university with the administration over the past couple of seasons, and there's better opportunities. And one thing that I will tell you in doing some research on this is that Derek Mason recruited his ass off for Austin Osbury. And he started going after Austin when he was the head coach at Vanderbilt, because a lot like what we talk about with Brian Kelly over at Vanderbilt, obviously athletics is not the number one priority, especially football, but it is very difficult to get the student athletes into school first, especially the ones that you want to go after and recruit. Alsbury checks all those lists and has, his entire high school run. So he was somebody really kind of like from a Vanderbilt's recruiting board that really he checked everything, and he was one of those guys that they were really kind of going after and trying to recruit very hard back in the day when Mason was at Vanderbilt. Now he's a defensive coordinator at Auburn, and they really kind of picked up the pace. You got more resources, you got a bigger budget, you got more to show off from a football standpoint as far as the legacy of the program, and that really kind of captivated Austin Alsbury. And I know a lot of people were kind of shocked to see him pull the Auburn hat yesterday and commit to Harsin and Auburn. But I don't think that behind the scenes that a lot of people were surprised by it, just because of how well Derek Mason has recruited him throughout this entire process.
And do you think that this is just me thinking out loud, that a lot of these schools offered him in hopes to get the brother tandem? That you see that in recruiting a good bit, to whether you have the
but
5-star.
He's not a bad player.
No, he's not a bad player. But I mean, we talked about how his recruiting picked up. I think a lot of the national schools started to realize what people in Baton Rouge knew is like, oh, he's got a younger brother that's a stud. Let's go ahead and toss him an offer and see if we can get them both.
But don't get it twisted. Austin Alsbury.
Oh, no, he's his own player.
But he's also not a complimentary handout. I mean, he's a player.
Right. I mean,
he's a player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to play. Like, he'll be covering kicks and covering punts. Maybe next year as a true freshman. Definitely in 2 years if he gets redshirted, and he'll be on the field a couple of years from now for Auburn. I'm telling you, Derek Mason has been in love with Austin Alsbury.
That's his kind of guy.
It is. Robert Miller with the super chat. We appreciate that, Robert. Of the playoff coordinators, Kelly has a history with Todd Monken at Georgia and Mike Denbrock at UC Cincinnati. Denbrock left Notre Dame after Kelly demoted him from offensive coordinator. Yeah, that seems one of the names that's trending here. It'll be interesting. I don't know about Todd Monken, huh?
I mean, but he got demoted. Why would he come back?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe Cincinnati guy, but
Brown Bear 765 with the super chat says David Perkins for defensive coordinator.
Who's that?
I don't really know who David Perkins is.
David Perkins is the school superintendent at Menard. I don't think you want him. He did go undefeated leading the old Eagles in '78 though at quarterback. He'll be the first one to tell you. Not a DC though.
Not a DC. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by A-Bears Specialty Meats. A-Bears is located now here in Baton Rouge in Robert's Grocery Store. You can stop and see them on Highland Road. We were telling you about the great gift certificate ideas, holiday gift cards right now. If you own a business, run a business, if you oversee a team, if you're a manager and you're thinking about holiday ideas, think about A-Bears gift cards. Check out this deal right now that's running during the holidays. For every $100 you spend over at A-Bears on gift cards, they will gift you $30 back in gift cards. So if you spend $1,000, you get $300 in gift cards. It's a ton of meat that you can pick up from our friends over at A-Bears. They're on Highway 73 out in Ascension, and they're right here in Baton Rouge in Robert's Grocery Store, right where they opened over there in the Kenilworth Shopping Center on the corner of Kenilworth and Highland Road, right next to Superior Bar and Grill. Check out A-Bears Specialty Meats. Great selections over there, man. They got steaks, they got turduckens, they got all types of specialty meats to choose from. They also got great boudin balls, anything that you're looking to pick up here for the holiday season. They can take care of your holiday menu as well. Look them up online, abearsmeats.com. Get in touch with them at abearsmeats.com. A proud supporter here of the Jordy Culotta Show.
So we've talked about this a little bit. I think we talked more about the All-SEC snub. Or not All-SEC. Was it All-SEC? Did Damone Clark not get first-team All-SEC?
He wasn't All-American first. And now,
he's on 0 All-American teams.
No All-American teams.
He did not get to put on 1 All-American team. Not one. What are we doing? Oh, it's a butt kiss. That's when he got stuff for the butt kiss. Not 1 All-American team.
It is,
what is that about? What are we doing?
It's the biggest snub I've seen in the past. You know what I mean? Like, since I can't, not that I've like document postseason award lists.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I cannot think of one that can be more debated than Damone Clark being left off of just about every team, and to look up and to find out that he's not on any team. It really is just for him. For him. It's a travesty. Like, that is a travesty. I mean, that is something that the fact that his senior season or his last year at LSU will not be rewarded for the type of player that he was, at least with just, like, hardware, because I think that the draft, I mean, I saw some mock drafts that now have Clark, like, shooting up the draft board to a mid-first round to a late first-round pick.
Yeah.
And people are going to have their mind blown when he works out for them.
No doubt.
Like, he is going to test off of the charts. He's going to jump out the gym. He's going to be the fastest linebacker. He's going to test all of his open field ball skills, all that stuff. He is going to dominate.
No doubt.
And he is going to make somebody fall in love with him. And he's going to be a really rich guy. You know what I mean? Which I know is a good consolation prize for not getting the butt kiss and not being a first-team All-American.
Still, man.
But after he has all of his
Yeah.
money tucked away a decade from now and his life is good, his kids are all, being educated at great spots, he's going to sit back and think about, I'd imagine, like, God, dog, did I get screwed my last year in college. I mean, the fact that he did not get recognized as one of the top players in college football is a crime. It really is. I mean, on some level, it feels illegal. I mean, it feels like that the fact that this cat is not decorated after the year that he's had feels criminal. I mean, it really does, because find me a better defensive player in college football this season than that guy. I mean, if he got his hands on you, you were going to the ground. He was for sure as a tackle as the sport had. He stayed healthy. He was a leader. He made a jump between last season and this year that anybody watching the game or says they watch the game at the rate that all these people that hand out the awards do can't respect. To me, that's the criminal part of it. Like, where he was last season to where he is now, that nobody stepped up and said, my God, look how much better Damone Clark has got at just playing football at this level.
Damone Clark is number 2 in the nation in tackles. In the nation.
And I think the majority of the season he led the nation.
Yep.
Like, I think for like the majority of it, he was number 1 in the country. And Rico Delgado says Will Anderson was better.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
He didn't get the butt kiss
That
either.
doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't. So what does that mean?
Find me
put him on the
two other players that were better than Damone Clark.
Yeah.
If Damone Clark's a top 5 defensive player in college football this season. Can we all agree on that? He's a top 5 defensive player. It'd be tough to go down a list of defensive players in college football and not to get to Damone Clark in the top 5. And for him not to be on not just one, every All-American team is a criminal. It is a crime. It really, I mean, it is a sports, football, college football crime.
I'm with you.
And
I don't understand. I don't understand how. I'm trying to pull up all these. It's just on the phone. It's a little hard, but I don't understand how you look at what he's done, especially on a defense that he was the one constant. I don't know how you look at that and say, you know what, this guy. If you make he made first team All SEC, didn't he?
Yes.
If you make a first team All SEC, shouldn't that make you an All American? It's the best conference in the country.
You would think so, but I mean, Mikey, it's one of those things. Like I saw where Fox Sports tried to compare the numbers of Bryce Young and Joe Burrow in their Heisman seasons. I mean, like it was one of those things. Like when you put them side by side, it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing?
Where's the comparison?
Slow news day for Fox Sports.
Yeah, where's the comparison?
You're losing credibility. You know what I mean? Like this is laughable. I mean,
who had the better season? It said, I think the thing was, what number 9 had the better season? And they put the numbers, and Bryce Young did not have one stat that was better than Joe Burrow. 400 yards less. Actually, not 400. 393 yards less passing. 5 touchdowns less. He has a loss. Joe Burrow didn't have a loss. Joe Burrow beat like 7 top 10 teams along that year. And they didn't even add the college playoff. They made sure to put the asterisk at the bottom and say college football playoff not counted.
Yeah,
well,
not included.
Go ahead and count that.
Yeah, don't count him. He still has 5 touchdown passes more than Bryce Young. If you want to count him, he threw 12 in 2 games. Then let's talk about it. 12 touchdown passes in 2 games in college football with the Natty undefeated season. I don't care if Bryce Young throws 15 right now. He's not. It's not a better season.
My point is that is so easily debatable when you put those numbers side by side, Bryce Young by Joe Burrow, and to me, the Damone Clark conversation, when you put his numbers to just about everybody in college football, it's laughable that this guy is not on the list.
No doubt.
It is. I mean, I say it's laughable. It's laughable to us. But, I mean, like, think about if you're like Damone Clark's dad, uncle, brother, sister, aunt.
Uncle Al.
Think of your Damone Clark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think of you, like, sitting there laying down thinking, man, what else do I have to do? Like,
look, as a player, man, you can, and people can say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. He's going to be a first rounder, and like awards, like it's fine. He knows how well. No, like as a player, you want to get recognized for what you did and for the hard work that you put in. I mean, look, I think it's been pretty well documented on his growth as a football player at LSU, right? Like he didn't really come into his own until really end of last year, this year. And it was a reward for him. Like, hey, I put in all this hard work. I stuck it out. I wasn't starting. I played behind all these really talented linebackers. And I finally got my opportunity, and I made the most of it, and I should be an All-American. And he's not. And that pisses me off for him.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and like I said, he will have the last laugh. Damone Clark, make no mistake about it, will have the last laugh in April when he is drafted high in the first round, because I think people are going to look on film and he's going to test off the charts. And it only takes one.
Yep.
It only takes one general manager, one owner to fall in love with you. The Tim Tebow, the Jamarcus Russell stories. It only takes one. It only takes one Josh McDaniels. It only takes one Al Davis to say, that's my guy. I don't care if he's what people think about him. We're drafting him. And I don't think that Damone Clark's one of those players where you got to go like sell your soul to the organization and draft him. But he is going to be somebody that's going to make an elite jump up draft boards because his football talent is just too good to hide. You cannot hide how good of a player he is just by simply turning on the film, and you look at the film and you say, wow, is he that good? Let's go look at him in person. Let's fly down to Baton Rouge to his pro day, or let's go look at him in the combine and get a one-on-one interview with him, and then you leave there and you're like, holy shit.
I think the Senior Bowl is going to help him out a lot, too.
You know what's going to help him out a lot is the Polian connection, because Polian's always on the NFL Network for the combine, and his son is now working for LSU, so he's going to have the inside track on a little Damone Clark knowledge, so he might be able to do a make good on his Lamar Jackson take.
And then he'll go to the Senior Bowl, and he'll have a really good Senior Bowl, and that'll help too.
And a lot of people typing in and saying it's a popularity contest, and I get it. It is.
It really benefited LSU with Grant Delpit.
It absolutely did. I mean, the 2019, all those awards were very much a who's who of the best team, and I get that.
It doesn't take the sting out of it, though.
It does not. It does not. I mean, the fact that you just don't recognize the numbers. If not, I mean, like if you're going to be a lazy sports writer who votes on these teams, you should just skim down the numbers.
Look at the box
and you're
score.
like, man, I've never seen LSU play, but the numbers on this cat are incredible.
120 tackles.
I mean, I'm just going to put him on here just because the numbers say so.
I mean, against popularity contest, you could say LSU wasn't very good, right? Like you could say,
for sure.
The defense wasn't good at the beginning of the year.
That has to be the argument.
And that's what everybody. That's when everybody was watching LSU too. There's national games early on. I'm sure that left a taste in their mouth.
Yeah, but which should make it even more impressive? Like LSU wasn't good. Their defense wasn't good, and this guy, no matter how bad or how good they were, this guy was in the middle of everything. He outperformed
everybody around him.
Exactly. And that, to me, shows, hey, this guy's an All-American because no matter how good – he's not a front runner. They weren't good. He never, ever, ever took a playoff. He played his ass off. He made all these tackles. He was one of the best linebackers in the SEC, which is evident by the first-team All-SEC selection he has. And I don't understand how do you have a guy on the first team All-SEC and he's not any All-American?
Not a third-team
I don't
All-American.
get that.
Daily, we're brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Remember, you can get in touch with our friends over at Falaya Real Estate by just logging online to Falaya.com. If you're looking for exposure on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the major sites. Then get in touch with Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Falaya Real Estate, 225-939-6153, 225-939-6153. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya Real Estate. If you are looking for realtor-grade signage, if you get over your head, Falaya has a realtor support and an on-demand page at a low flat fee per service that they can very clearly explain to you over there at Falaya. 225-939-6153, 225-939-6153. Or call Barrett. That's where you can call Barrett Blondo or look him up online at falaya.com. Give us a couple of minutes to reset here. We'll be back for the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We are talking to Uncle Al, 5-star linebacker Harold Perkins, who has gone through recruiting. It seems like Uncle Al's favorite school is the Tigers. It seems like A&M's paying Harold too much for him to say no to anywhere, for him to say yes to anywhere else. We will get all of the scoop from Uncle Al here coming up in the second hour. Come back with us as the Jordy Culotta Show, powered by Go Chevrolet, is driving on here into the second hour. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show as we are brought to you daily by Cajun Ready Mix Concrete, our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix. Remember, you can get in touch with them at CajunRMC.com. We appreciate them for always supporting us here over at the Jordy Culotta Show, where they provide ready-mix concrete products and services to meet all of your concrete needs, residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal. Online at CajunRMC.com. 9 locations around the greater Baton Rouge area. So to you, the customer, that means that all of your concrete will be delivered to the exact specification and on time. They got high-quality products, grade A equipment, and clear safety standards over at Cajun Ready Mix. CajunRMC.com is how you get in touch with our friends over there. Second hour moving here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate you starting your day with us. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Hit that share button. Comment on the post. We'll be here with you until 9 a.m. this morning. Uncle Al going to stop by at 8:30 this morning. We also got a text from Quincy Wiggins saying he would stop by here today before he makes his announcement. Said he had a test at 8 o'clock this morning.
I don't know if we can handle it again.
A day before his announcement
Risky
tomorrow.
move for us.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Wait,
Why
I'm
not?
confused. I'm confused. Why?
Why not?
We'll go back and play the show.
Yeah, no, we tried. We had a couple. We've dabbled in the Quincy waters before.
One of our more awkward times.
We had
an
an
awkward interview.
We had a
Maybe
great
the
one and then a
most
not so good
awkward
one.
time.
Yeah, we had a very, very high moment with Quincy.
That we tried to ride into the sun.
And then we had him back on. Maybe pushed our luck a little bit.
That's what you do.
And the second interview, I don't know if it was him on the second interview. I think he was giving his boy kind of a little time to.
It got to the
shine.
point
I
where
don't
we
know.
didn't know who was on the phone.
I didn't know who we
Yeah.
were talking to. I mean, because his personality was so
Vibrant.
good and vibrant the first time that we talked to him.
But he was here in person the first
Not
time?
the first
No,
time.
both on the
He
phone.
was on the phone, and then the second time, I mean, it kind of like the vibe was so good.
Good,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? We were like, "We'll call you again."
Yeah, next
Yeah,
week.
Yeah, right.
He was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Next week.
And then but it was still like the first time we had him on, people were just starting to know who Quincy Wiggins was. By the time we had him on the second time,
They knew it.
Saban had been in his living room.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it had been.
And been in his ear.
And we kind of felt like it's kind of superstar status, but I don't really still to this day know if it was him.
He barely said 2 words. And it was a testament to how good Jordy is because we were like sweating. Like, this is the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
I was
Wow.
just
He
like
was
this.
just like trying to ask questions, like
What,
pull it
like
out
you
of
just
him.
wouldn't answer
It was
you or
awful.
anything? You just say one-word answers?
1-word answers.
It was
Like mumbling. We couldn't even understand him really half the time.
Walter or second Quincy as the worst in the show?
second Quincy.
Yeah,
Really?
second.
Walter was
Yeah,
rough.
Yeah, Walter was just.
And we can say whatever we want about Walter because he's not coming here. But Quincy? I think we had Quincy get in studio. We have a little tit for tat with Quincy. He was better in studio.
And then Quincy came in studio.
So you had him 3 times.
So I've had him 3
With
times.
his manager, got our coach.
Yeah,
one
his
of
basketball
coaches.
coach, Jeff Jones.
Yeah, that was
Um,
much better.
And he was great.
Man, that was awkward.
But he's a game changer. I mean, he is a game changer.
We dimmed the lights, and I mean, we went into like
a deep depression.
Yeah, we were in a mood. It was a mood.
It was crazy. It was
Wow.
wild.
Great show
It was-
moment, though.
It was.
Wow.
It was a low
You
point.
need those. You need those things. You need those
Calvin Dudley says,
Swamp.
"Tell Quincy to commit on air and stop playing. That would be huge, guys."
That'd be awesome.
I
be
would.
awesome. We are moving the UDL, as you know.
Whoa.
Remember, go ahead.
Whoa.
We might be at.
I thought you
we
were
might
surprised
be,
just then.
no.
What?
Yeah, what you did? No.
Wait, are we?
We might
moving?
We
What?
might be at the commitment ceremony. We might have a couple guys over there, so you might get a little live feed from the Culotta show of the commitment.
Hey.
You know, there might be there, it might be at Walker Howard's. You never know. It might just be bouncing around a little bit.
Look at you.
So check out the website, movetheudl.com. We have started a website, movetheudl.com, and if you want to become involved with us and help us out here on this move, as we said, we should be up and operating here before the first of the year. But movetheudl.com is up and operating, and you can jump in and help. We got a couple incentives for you there if you can find it in the holiday budget. We know times are tight right now. We understand it. But if you want to help us and assist in getting over to the new UDL, the Noodle,
Noodle.
you can check out online at movetheudl.com.
A few of y'all have already donated, so we sure do appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Are we
that.
married to the Noodle, or did the Noodle marry us?
I believe the Noodle married us.
Okay.
So it's called the Noodles. We're sticking with that. The Noodle.
Just kind of, it's been that since day
Yeah,
one.
New DL worked, and then
That's
Noodle.
fine.
I mean,
We're just kind of in
it's kind of like our
UDL.
dog. You come up with all these random
Then the
nicknames
Noodle.
for it.
The Noodle.
I have a feeling that that'll change into like an actual name at some point, maybe.
I don't know.
Because
It
it's
feels
not-
like it's sticking.
Well, but it's not. It's not a undisclosed location. It won't be. So technically, the Noodle.
It is.
It's not undisclosed.
It is.
disclosed.
It is a little
So-
confusing.
It is, I
It
guess.
is.
So you know.
But so is the
it is.
show.
Yeah,
so is the
that's
show.
right up
It
very on
fits our
brand.
vibe.
Yeah, right.
It fits.
Patrick Kimry, can we replay that interview? No, we cannot. Patrick.
We should over the holidays. That should be one of the
Can you
shows.
find? Can I go find that on like?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
On
not running
YouTube.
from it. We're not running from it. We still
Okay.
keep the low moments out there.
It is worth watching.
It definitely is worth watching.
Noah kills the lights on us, and
Yeah.
it's just we just did a moment of silence
It's super awkward.
Wow.
because we felt like we may have made him not commit to LSU. We may have run him away,
No.
and we were pushing so hard for him to come here. But now, hopefully back again and a change of two.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because we got to, as we broke in our recruiting news yesterday, that was apparently uncouth. There was a little Quincy talk, so it sounded very, very promising.
Things do seem to be trending in the right direction for Quincy.
Love that.
Which I don't
love.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know where it turned. I don't know where the recruitment really kind of swung.
A lot of stuff going behind the scenes, boys. You don't know.
I don't know if Frank had enough time. You know what I mean? I think it was kind of trending before that.
Tired of hearing about time.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of it.
Time's a big thing. I feel like a coach.
Our good friend Harry Ballsack.
Like Jordy. I want to hear about time.
Harry Ballsack.
He's back. Harry Ballsack.
Harry Ballsack is back. Is LSU going to be 8? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Look close. He took the Harry Ball photo off. It's someone's face up close now.
I think he drew eyes on a ball sack.
No. There's a smile and everything on it.
He's creative.
Really get in there, Katie. Let's go.
I really am in there.
Put your face in there.
Get those balls up in there, real close.
Is LSU going to be able to work their dead period magic and flip kids that are already verbally committed to any other schools? You would think. I think getting some pushback, like a pushback of timeline for like guys like Jacoby Matthews was huge.
Huge.
I think that's what they're trying to get Shaz Preston to do, but it doesn't seem. I hate the fact that Alabama is going to come into LSU, come into Louisiana, and take the 3 best wide receiver prospects potentially. They're definitely getting the top 2 in Shaz Preston and Aaron Anderson. It looks like they're trending in the right direction for Kendrick Law, who could be a DB, who could be a wide receiver. Let's call him a wide receiver.
That's the LSU fit. Like, which way do you want to go? Doesn't matter. Come to school at LSU. It's brutal. But you expect this, right? Like, this is what we said whenever you made – Coach O needed to make it one more year in order to kind of secure this recruiting class, because this is the one that he built up with the cachet from the 2019 National Championship. You still kind of have that sheen on you when you wanted to come to LSU, and Coach O had built this thing up to be a monster with all the Louisiana recruits that were so highly regarded, and they were all kind of committed to – they say to commit to the school and not the coach. The higher end guys, the ones that seem to be leaving LSU, were committed to O. Like, it's certainly in Anderson's case.
Anderson was not committed to O. I think.
No, that's what he was committed to.
Yeah.
But I think he was, even with O, I think he was still 50-50.
Yeah, I think he was kind of looking for a way out.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Saban and Alabama were putting so much pressure on him, and he kind of loved Alabama behind the scenes that he was looking for an easy excuse to say, hey, man, like Dylan Moses.
Right.
If you remember, Dylan Moses was like, well, if y'all wouldn't have fired Les Miles, I'd have still come to LSU. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have, bro. That's an easy out for you to get out of here. We get it. Go get your time over in Tuscaloosa, but you don't have to. You know what I mean? We're all adults here. You can tell us what's going on.
You're 18. I'm old enough to know
I've been in love with you and obsessed with you since you've been a freshman in high school.
Is he in the NFL?
You're going to break up with me. Do it honestly.
You come to my front door. You tell me. You shake my hand.
Wait, where's Kendrick Law from?
Shreveport.
I love that name. That's
Captain Shreve, right?
Captain Shreve.
Yep, my cousins went to school.
That's
Captain
the name
Shreve.
of the school?
Shreve. Yeah.
Captain Shreve?
Yeah, I think they're the Pirates.
I don't know.
Cavaliers,
some type of.
I think that they got the 2 swords.
Is Dylan Moses in the NFL?
Took him to the woodshed. In
he's on Jacksonville's roster, but he played
like the practice squad, or like the actual roster?
No, he's actually on the IR because he played his senior season with a torn MCL, and when he got to the combine, they ruled and deemed him like
medically unfit.
Like he could not go through the process, and Jacksonville made him an undrafted free agent and stashed him on IR for a year. That's a hell of a way to make an impact into the league.
Does he get by getting put on IR? Are you on
Guaranteed.
the practice squad? Like, how does that work? Are you like getting the minimum, or are you practice squad money?
You get practice squad money. On the IR.
Yeah, they said they put him on the IR all year. Like, that's.
I know that he's not on the 53.
Well, then they're probably not getting.
So he's not he's not getting full contract.
Yeah, because like in baseball, if you were to get put on the
Captain Shreve is the Gators, you idiot.
Yeah, we got.
They're not. They're
what
not.
a dummy!
You're thinking of Calvary Baptist.
That's what I'm thinking. They're the same colors. Whatever.
Wow.
Are they green and gold?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
We have the Google machine. We don't even use it.
Where'd Doug Peterson go?
But yeah, like in baseball, you get put on the IL,
Calvary.
and if it's a long, like say it's a season-long deal, and you're on the roster, it's different. Baseball's different, but if you're on the roster, a lot of guys will get put on the 60-day, which means like they'll probably get put on the major league. IL.
Yeah.
Green and
Used to
gold.
be the DL. IL because it opens up a spot for somebody else. and they don't have to take somebody off the roster. But football's different. I don't really understand how all that stuff works for football.
Captain Shreve Cavaliers sounds like a team you don't want to play.
It does
Captain
sound
Shreve
like that.
Gators sounds like you could,
Yeah.
you know,
It
you about
sounds
to
like
10-run
they should
rule
be
them.
Pirates. Captain Shreve,
Yeah, right.
Or something.
They missed the mark. That's not my fault.
They
That's
did.
on them.
That's ridiculous.
So Jacksonville Jaguars. So this is coming early in the season, and I'm just trying to get some news on Dylan Moses right here because it did open up my my curiosity on where he was. He is on the Jacksonville Jaguars non-football injury list. Is where he is stashed away this season, as Moses had a rough go the last couple of years in Tuscaloosa. He just could not stay healthy and stay on the field, and really he ended his college career with a torn, I said MCL, it was a torn ACL.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
non-football
Yes.
injury list. So, like, he had an injury that was not related
No,
to
I
football.
No, well, he's just not on the football
Yeah.
team, but he's injured.
He didn't get hurt playing for them.
Yeah, right. Like
okay.
he came in injured.
Okay.
So they just got him stashed away and see if they can't get him healthy. But the NFL's such a brutal business,
Yeah.
especially for people like this. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Dylan Moses has a chance in this league should give you an idea of the talent that he has for somebody to look at him and say, look, man, he's barely got any knees left.
Yeah.
He's barely got any legs left. He's been playing with the pressure of the world on him since he's been in 8th grade. And people behind the scenes I've heard ask, does he still love football? Like, has he fallen out? Is he burnt out?
Burnt out.
Is he burnt out on it?
Here's my thing: if you're still going through that and you're playing, you still love it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Because
agree.
Or you don't have anywhere else to
Or
turn.
you just don't have any options.
Yeah, but like, man, going through
what he's going through.
Yeah, going through that and constantly rehabbing your knee and constantly like not being on the field and still sticking through that. I don't know. To me, that
That's
means you
tough.
still love it.
And it makes a lot of sense in Jacksonville. He's like a Miles Jack clone. You know, they both played running back, linebacker, that fast twitch. So they know how to use him. They just would love to get him on the field. So
Yeah.
that's a good fit for him there.
And a lot of
Even
people
though Urban Meyer is toast.
toast.
Bro, can we talk about that for a little bit?
Toast.
I mean, Urban Meyer.
Man walking.
It's everybody
Oh
else's
my
fault.
God.
I mean, like
I'll
Herb.
tell you.
I mean, Herb. The nerve
The nerve.
on Herb. Like
The
What
the
have you
fact-
done, Urban?
Like
The arrogance.
Could you imagine being on his coaching staff and him walking into the room and not being like, "Yo, Herb,
Bro,
close that door."
here's the
'Cause
thing.
Let me tell you something, man. This ain't college anymore. You ever get to the podium like that and sail my ass down the river, I'm going to kick your ass.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to kick your ass.
Same thing that happened to Saban.
If you ever think that you can go up to the podium and blame all of us for you shading off and shoving your hands up some chick's ass for the weekend and got us the laughing stock of the league.
Bro, he is cooked.
Cooked.
That was in
He
October,
comes
right?
off as
That's
a
when
he
it
comes off
started.
as a bitch.
He does.
Like that handshake at the end of the game.
absolutely
Give me a
does.
break, dude.
He
Be a
absolutely
professional.
does.
He's
You
not a
can't-
professional.
You can't stand up in front of your team of grown ass men and say, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. We're gonna fight," and then look at you and say, "Bro, get the fuck out of my face. Go home. Don't talk." We could probably win more games if we coached ourselves the way because we talked about being a leader. If you want to be a leader of a team and controlling a team, and how LSU didn't have that, he is the opposite. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be a leader. Not only are you not the leader, they're laughing at you because you tried to go into a
Oh, he didn't
locker
try.
room. You went to a locker room
Oh.
and you tried to lie and fool these men
Yeah,
about what happened
right.
and about what you're doing, what you did, and what you didn't do. And like people looking at him and like they laughed him out the room, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, don't try to tell me what you did. We saw what you did.
You know he canceled that team meeting
What do you mean?
when he got back from that trip and he stayed. They played Cincinnati on the Thursday
against
night.
on Monday.
And he was supposed to meet with the team, the
Yeah,
entire
of
team.
The trip when he was in the bar with the woman?
Yes.
That trip?
Woman, she was a child.
He
Or
called
whatever.
he called a team meeting, and like he started to hear like that people were like kind of like
Laughing at
catching wind that he was going to go in there and say like it wasn't my fault type
Yeah.
deal, and people were like kind of like behind the scenes saying if he tries to sell me this, we're either like going to walk out or we're going to embarrass him. You know,
Yeah.
sometime. And like 3 minutes before the team meeting, he was like shut it down and like sent him out like a text message, like a
Brian
mass
Kelly.
text
Coward.
message
That's a bitch move, man.
to the team.
Well,
But doesn't he comes across as he
Yeah.
comes across as a bigger loser every weekend.
Oh,
he called his assistant coaches losers.
That's what I'm saying.
You're a loser.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
You are a loser.
But the handshake, the comments to the media, the off the field stuff in the middle of the season.
Him saying I cry, like wanting to cry at the podium, and like looked like he just lost his puppy because he's losing a game. Like get to work then. Figure this out.
But the part that blows my mind about this is that, what did you think you were getting into? You had the number 1 pick in the draft, which goes to the worst team in the NFL, and you didn't think that this was going to be work? You didn't think that this was going to take any type of effort and energy that was going to zap you to get to where you wanted to be? I mean, it was almost like he thought he was taking the Alabama job. Yeah, like he thought he was like walking into a winner, like he was getting the Patriots gig. You know what I mean? Like it was like Urb, you got a rookie quarterback and the number 1 pick in the draft, and you're pissed off about the way that the organization is working. Well, I mean, there's a reason why they have the number 1 pick in the draft. You didn't know all of this coming in, but then the more you think about Urban Meyer, the more you step back and think about who this guy is. He went 8-4 at Florida. That was his worst season, was 8-4. And while 8-4 during the time that he went 8-4 was over, like flipped over upside down how bad that was in Florida. But I mean, it's still, he was winning, nearly almost 2/3 of his games. And he quit. He really did. I mean, he quit because he didn't know how to take, I guess, the fact that he just wasn't on top. He wasn't.
He quit at Ohio State whenever shit started hitting the fan there.
And then when things started to roll downhill on him against, he's never dealt with adversity. He's never stuck it out. He's never committed. Everything that the coach begs you to be and pleads with you as a player and will consequence you if you don't stick to the committed principles that they lay for you is everything that Urban Meyer is not. It really is. I mean, has there ever been anybody that has been more exposed by sports than Urban Meyer? Like, has anybody's trade, industry exposed them any more than football has exposed Urban Meyer? Like, Urb, you didn't know in the game of football that when you take over a team that has the number 1 pick in the draft, that it's going to cost you, it's going to take you, I mean, almost a lifetime worth of inner work to flip that around. Like, you're going to have to put so much work into getting this done. I can't believe like he wouldn't consult with like Jimmy Johnson, did this in the night. Like, Jimmy Johnson came from a world where he was the best college football coach in the world, and he took over for the Dallas Cowboys, who had the number 1 pick in the draft and didn't win a game the year before he got there. Goes through a 1-15 season the year that he gets there, and then 2 years later he's in the Super Bowl. I mean, Urban Meyer looks as if he is more surprised than anybody about how difficult this is. That handshake, I wish that Vrabel would have knocked him out right there. But Vrabel is like, he was probably thinking in the moment, like, you little bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, look at you little bitch.
And Vrabel
is not
complete opposite.
Is not the guy you want that smoke with.
No,
he's not that guy.
Opposite of that. And
hey, Andrew Messina said he had a preacher, a racist, and a murderer get him a national title at Florida. That'll be a hell of a 30.
It's going to be a great 30 for 30.
I mean, look, the 2 times he stopped coaching in college, right? Shit started going downhill in Florida. Health reasons, wants to be more time with his family. Then he gets the Ohio State job a couple years later. Pulls out of that after all this stuff hits the fan. Health reasons.
Wait, what were the first health reasons?
Made up.
Yeah, they're made up. But, I mean, there was some type of, I believe it was heart.
Yeah, something.
Okay, I thought
or it might have been,
heart.
was it brain?
He was getting migraines at first,
Migraines.
and then his heart started to hurt.
Yeah, it was like serious.
He was just playing
Well,
doctor.
I mean, it sounded serious.
I'm not laughing at this,
No,
but
I
there's
know.
no more laughable moment of Urban Meyer when Mark Ingram crosses the goal line in the 2010 SEC championship game, where he starts to see the Florida dynasty being chipped away, and they cut to Tebow on a knee who's crying on the sideline.
Can you find
and
that?
Urb
Can you find
is
that?
bending over, holding his head, kind of like, I think like Fred Sanford, kind of like, Elizabeth,
I'm coming.
this might be the big one. This might be it. And Saban's like pacing like a shark. Yeah, like that show in
Blood in the
Saban. He's
water.
like staring at Urb across
Go
the
for
way.
two.
Yeah, right.
Kill him.
I love how we're not laughing at this,
But it was hilarious.
But that's the thing, though. That's why we laugh at it, because it doesn't come up. It doesn't come up because he came back, and then he leaves again. Does stuff on the on TV, on Fox or wherever he was at.
Yeah.
Then they say, hey, you know what? We think you could be an NFL coach. Oh, you know what? My health is better. Let me just go be an NFL coach and go to get the number one pick. Go to an organization that really hasn't had much success and expect that, hey, I had all these health reasons. Wow. I had all these health reasons because of the stress. I'm going to go and put more stress on myself in the NFL. Right. That just tells me you didn't have any health reasons. You just can't overcome adversity, one. And two, you kind of made the wrong decisions, bro. You should have stayed for one more year and see all this money that everybody's getting in college. You probably would have gotten $100 million to go coach somewhere else where you can bring the people in, you can trick the kids, you can tell them this, you can tell them that. Get the fuck out of here.
He's done. He's cooked.
Yeah,
Or you could say he's doing what Jimmy Johnson did, where they won 1-15. And I don't think this is possible at all.
Jimmy Johnson in that 1-15 season, go back. He was grinding. It was killing him.
It's killing Urban.
But Jimmy ain't getting into the podium and blaming it on his assistants.
No, I think Urb is. I was the first one to say it. Urb's toast. But because I think he lost the locker room right at that moment that you talked about when he called the team meeting and didn't show up. All you did was set up an hour roast session of all the players that were just like, this motherfucker's not going to show up. Like, did you see this video of him? Like, look at Herb Knuckles D. Like, he could have turned it that way and be like, boys, I had a night. And they'd be like, oh, okay, Herb. Like, my bad, boys, won't do it again.
If you admit, hey, I fucked up. But this is what I did. This is why I did it. I fucked up.
Instead, he ran from it like he always does.
But yeah, he didn't own it. He wasn't accountability is the biggest thing. He's not accountable. It's never his fault. Always other people's fault, and I can't stand that.
And he is in the accountability business.
No doubt.
Like, he is in the business of being accountable, and he's got zero accountability. Zero. He really, and it's just, can you imagine what life is like right now for Urban Meyer? Do you think, like, in his private thoughts, like in his bed at night, he's probably thinking there, looking at the ceiling, thinking, I'm exposed. This pod
looks good up here.
I'm exposed.
I think he's delusional.
I think that he believes. I think that it feels like he understands, like, that the world has figured out you're a fraud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the football world has kind of seen through your glass house, and you don't want any of this because you really got to coach this team.
What happened?
You have to coach this team, and you can't recruit. You can't go get your own players. You got to coach the players that you have.
But it's the comments that he's saying. He's telling people but telling people like, oh, it's like playing Alabama every week. Well, no shit, guy. Like, you mean you're playing in the NFL? It's like playing Alabama? Yeah, of course, because they're all NFL guys. They're the NFL. Like, get out of here with all this. Like, what did you expect?
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Sorry.
I was just gonna make a comment on your hoodie, and then you just ripped it off.
I waited as long as I could to promote the Jordy Culotta show
anything about it, but God, those are awesome, right?
I know.
Brand new hoodies over at Red Stick Sports. Jordy.itemorder.com have been asked over the last couple of days on where people can get their gear.
Now you have to at least show it.
But we are rocking the new logo there on some cool colors. So if you want to pick up your hoodie, if you want to pick up the tee, we also got some crew neck sweatshirts over there for Ali Matuk and the crew.
Do we have logos with the chair on it though, or no? Just the Jordy Culotta?
Chill out, Mikey.
No, I think
I was just asking.
The chair is kind of a lot for embroidery.
Okay, that was my question.
But hey, we can try it out. But there's all kinds of Southern Marsh gear on there too with the new logo. I mean, like, the socks. The socks have the chair.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
The socks are awesome.
I like the chair.
Jonathan LeBleau says, looking forward to the new DL. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Remember, check out movetheudl.com. Movetheudl.com. Last of Adon says, I think Jacksonville should fire Urb and hire Bieniemy. I'd be all for that. It is time for Eric Bieniemy to get a shot. We'll be back. Uncle Al just texted. He's ready.
Yes.
Oh,
He is waiting on the phone call. Remember, we are brought to you every single day here by GoFlow IV. GoFlow IV is located on Jefferson Highway. They can help you out today feeling back to normal. GoFlowIV.com. That is GEAUX, FlowIV.com. GoFlowIV.com is where you can find them. They also offer memberships over there, 3-month, 6-month, and annual memberships. If you suffer from chronic dehydration, If you're looking for help on illness recovery, if you suffer from chronic illness, get in touch with GoFlow. GEAUX, Flow, IV.com. Baton Rouge's premier medical spa specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. GoFlow IV. GEAUX, Flow, IV.com. Uncle Al next here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
I wonder what Uncle Al thinks about Urban.
Hey, does Friends sponsor anybody? Does Friends get money to people?
Yeah, but
Did y'all see their TikTok when they set up that table outside Tiger Stadium? It said 2019 was the best LSU team, changed my mind, and that Alabama guy is talking to him on the microphone. I mean, I'll just send it to y'all. It's freaking hilarious.
Like, good hilarious or like?
Yeah, good. I mean, the Alabama guy is like, I mean, his tat, an A tat on his neck. I mean, it is awesome. He says, like, Joey Burrows is all y'all got here.
The Alabama fans are gonna be in rude. I don't even know how to say it. They're gonna be in trouble whenever.
Rude awakening.
Yeah, rude awakening whenever you say.
look at you.
Very coordinating today.
Oh, you are.
The studio is on the move. We are moving from the UDL to the new DL, the Noodle. And if you want to be involved, you can. Click the link right here and you can donate. We've got memberships and levels to all of this. We appreciate that. We're trying to get in a couple of expenses that we need a little help with. If you can afford it around the holidays, we appreciate it. Jordy Culotta Show, the move from the UDL to the new DL. Come along with us.
Cody Boudreaux, we're talking to you.
True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. True Blue Water. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet here on this Tuesday morning.
Thursday.
I don't know where you're going to go with
Days
it.
are flying by, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't
It
sure
is
what
Tuesday. All right, Harold Perkins has been in the middle of recruiting. He is going to sign tomorrow. His recruitment has been awesome to follow. If you are not following his uncle, which we've been calling Uncle Al, come to find out it's Uncle Kev, bro.
We got bad info.
We got bad
weird.
info.
We got some bad info. Sorry.
At Mr_NO504 is worth the follow on Twitter, and it's not just because he's Harold Perkins' uncle. My man has been enjoying all of the college visits. All of the setups have been awesome to see on the video. It doesn't look like it got any better than the LSU visit, though, when the family was grittying across all of the hardware. I see the Nagurski. I see the Heisman. I see the Remington. I see all the awards, the Butkus that LSU players have won over the years, and the entire Perkins family, including Uncle Kev, is dancing in the LSU locker room. Hopefully, LSU fans will be dancing in the streets tomorrow after Perkins makes his announcement. But we're catching up with Uncle Kev here on the show. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing? He don't commit. He commit next month on the 5th.
That's right. I'm sorry about that. He's doing it at the All-Star game.
Yeah, after the All-Star game. And let Uncle Al, the one who be going with him on most of the visits because of my work schedule, but Al be the one going on most of the visits. I've been on a couple of other visits. I'm Al Uncle too. So I'm Elvin and Harold Uncle.
Double uncle.
There you
Wow.
go.
I love it.
You're the big dog.
Were you on the LSU visit? Were you in the middle of the locker room?
Yeah, that was me.
What has communication been like with LSU since Brian Kelly has been there with Harold? How have you guys liked the new coach and what's going on with LSU?
Well, I never met Brian Kelly, and I don't know how the visit went with him and Harold, but I met Coach Ogeron. You heard me? I met Coach Ogeron. Coach my dude, so I ain't meet Mr. Kelly yet.
How has this process been? What is this like? What has this been like to go through for you and your family?
It's amazing, man. It's something to experience. You heard me? I mean, it's like as me being an uncle, us being from New Orleans, and how the city of New Orleans set up, and how young most black men live their life. But to see my little nephew, number one outside linebacker in the nation, 5-star player, that feels good. I really feel good. You heard me? It's amazing.
Absolutely. Harold Perkins, a 5-star linebacker. Tell his story, Uncle Kev. As we know, he's New Orleans people, but he's not living in the dirty anymore. He's over in Texas. Tell people kind of how he came up and where he is.
Well, Katrina, did a lot of damage to the city of New Orleans, sure. And people, relocated, and when he went to Texas, my little niece, she's a very religious person, and she thought that it was best that they stay out there in Texas and not go back to New Orleans. And I feel like she made a great decision because look how the outcome came out with Harold and the rest of her kids, And everybody, we keep talking about Harold, but I got another little nephew named Robert Jones, play offensive lineman. He's a beast too.
Where's he at?
He's a beast. I think his school. He's in Cyprus too, but I think his school is at school. I'm not sure.
Unc, is Harold a better linebacker or a better running back?
Whatever he feel like he want to do, that's what he's gonna do.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Where would you play him in college? If you were his coach, where would you play him?
Wherever you want to play.
All right, so you're all LSU, and his family's all LSU. What's some of the other schools that has stood out? Where do you kind of feel the schools are for Harold? It looks like all the Texas schools are coming after him, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's like that. But we all was young one time, and
Absolutely.
we had and we grew up and became adults, so we had to make a lot of decisions for ourselves. And Harold, he's not the type of person, he ain't gonna talk his business, he gonna hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me? He's not gonna just, let you know this, let you know that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking for a great shocker, whether it's LSU, Texas A&M, whatever school he goes to. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna be a proud uncle. Wherever he go, he's gonna be great.
That's cool, man. So Kev, you live in New Orleans right now?
I stay in Baton Rouge.
Okay. Do you travel over to Texas and watch him play?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be amazing, It'd be amazing, But at the end of the day, he, just like I tell him all the time, let God be your lead. Let God guide you where He wants you to go. God gonna send you where we think is best for you. God knows what's best for you. See, so that's the difference. So that's why I tell him talk to God more. Yeah. And God gonna lead him in the right direction.
No doubt.
He looks good in that purple and gold, Harold.
I love the purple and gold. Thanks to LSU fans. So, at the end of the day, you heard me. I would love to see him there, but that's the decision.
Man, I hear the New Orleans in you, baby. It's great to hear. Tell Harold, good luck with this decision. The state of Louisiana is behind him. Everybody's pulling for LSU, but whatever he chooses is going to be the best for him. We appreciate it, man.
I'm going to tell y'all this. You believe in God?
Absolutely.
You have faith?
Yes, sir.
Eat the faith.
Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
I love that.
Thank you, man.
Amen.
What an ending.
Pastor Kev.
Amen.
Uncle Kev. You heard me.
You heard
You
me.
hear me?
Yeah.
That's how you know I
Cash
love
money.
that. You heard me?
You heard
Cash
me?
money taking
You heard
over to
me?
9-9. That was some old school stuff
love
right
it.
there,
You
man.
heard
He's in Baton Rouge. We should get him in here.
Yeah.
Get him over the noodle.
He's
for
good,
Sure.
Flip
bro.
the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harold
We gotta
Perkins
get
be a
him
game
in.
changer for LSU.
Yeah.
That
Was awesome.
You believe
Damn,
in
he had
God?
me yes, sir, on the way out.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes, sir. Remember Daily, we're brought to you by Edward
You
Jones.
believe in God? You heard me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Edward
Love that.
Jones, remember they're located out in Central. This one is our guy, Daniel Newman. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. In Central over there across from Stab. Stop in and see him. He is our financial advisor. Let him be yours. He can take care of you today over there at Edward Jones. You got questions about your retirement, about your 401k. What do you need to invest in? Where do you need to set up your college fund for your kids? Get all those questions answered by Daniel Newman. And if you work in the plant industry, Daniel Newman is an expert in that field. He can help you out with just about anything that you're looking for as far as help and guidance within that. In fact, if you work at Exxon, just got announced that their first quarter was going down, which means if you are thinking about retirement or have retiring on the brain, Daniel Newman may need to crunch some numbers for you and see if that makes sense if you're over at Exxon. Get in touch with him, Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Reset here real quick. Be right back. Close out the Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you every single day by Go Chevrolet.
How did it get to be crunch? Crunch the numbers.
Crunch the numbers. Crunch the numbers. I don't know.
Shorten it.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess just
Like
kind of
just
like
smush them
you
together.
got all
all
you
these
got
numbers,
these
you gotta bring it
board. You got
together.
those board of numbers all spread out. Now it's time to kind of bring them all together. You got to
together?
crunch them together.
Sounds like an easy
Uh,
job.
Lucky for us, you're not doing that.
Lucky for us, you're not doing that.
That's right. We'll be back here at the Jordy Culotta Show. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. Two spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. GoFlow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. GoFlow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At GoFlow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Uncle Al.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live here on this Tuesday morning. We appreciate you starting your day with us. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that comment button. A lot of you reacting to Uncle Kev here this morning on the Jordy Culotta Show. Appreciate him stopping by. Called back. He was looking for his link. He's ready to get it out to his people, man. He's ready to send out his celebrity status. Absolutely.
Keep the faith.
He was beautiful this morning as Kev stopped by. A lot of you urging us to link back up with Tack Miner, talking about Denver Harris's game last weekend. Looks like he shut that cat down in the state title game.
Oh, did he go back at him?
We're gonna find out from Tack. I've texted him. Scone's fragile ego says, Jordy,
that was a dangerous one there.
we need you on a 3 to 6 so we don't have to watch Moscona. Ah, come on, man. Everybody's watching Moscona.
That's a hilarious screen name. I've never seen them.
It is.
Scones Fragile Ego.
The
Also,
the
there are
emojis looks great.
172 likes and 615 of y'all watching.
Carpool Queen ain't
Let's
down
hit
with
that
those
like
numbers,
button,
man.
my
Hit that
point.
low. Hit
Crunch
that,
the numbers.
crunch
right?
those numbers.
We gotta
Crunch
crunch
the
the numbers
numbers.
after this.
Hit those likes. All right, good show this morning. Thanks for everybody interacting. Thank you for being there. As we do have a text in to Tack and see if we can't get him before we get out of here and get an update to see what's going on.
Is he committing tomorrow? Denver Harris? Do you know?
I don't
Maybe
know.
maybe that was what we thought. Maybe I think Denver Harris is committing tomorrow.
Let me find out real quick. Let me find out.
Sure. Google machine.
Because
new segment on the show. You heard daily affirmation.
You heard
from
me?
Uncle Kev. That's so cute.
a little Friday blessing from
Thanks
Uncle
for
Kev.
that super chat.
Mm.
Jedi 517.
Let's see here. Denver Harris, he was at Texas last weekend.
Because if he's not committing early, then it feels like LSU has a chance. I know that he said that Corey Raymond was the reason that he was probably leaning LSU, and Tack having everything that he has in the house. They want him to go to LSU, but with Corey Raymond leaving, I wonder if they were able to push back the signing date.
Texas is doing some work right now.
Well, we know how Texas is doing that.
Right, they got Ewers, they got the offensive line, big 5-star offensive lineman.
Yeah, Ewers has no history of being paid to play.
Well, Sarkisian's tweeting out. His tweets are all kind of like showing that they're picking up people and doing great work in recruiting, but they're paying everybody.
So is everybody.
Look who's up.
Who's up?
Tack.
Hey.
All right. I love just random calls that we receive.
Turn him
Did
up.
you see?
Turn
Oh,
him
he's on.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Culotta?
What's up, you little fucker?
You little fucker.
What's up? What's up, little fucker?
What's up, dude? I heard Denver showed out that state championship game. He balled?
Man, no. It was the semis.
Oh, it was the semis. My bad.
The semis, man. And, man, Jordy, monster.
Shut that little boy
You
down
hear
or
me?
what?
Oh, man, little baby. Yeah, we rocked him to sleep.
So off to the state championship?
Yeah, off to the state. It's Saturday at 3 in Dallas Stadium.
So you guys visited. Y'all were in College Station last weekend? Did y'all go to Texas A&M?
Yes, we did.
So where is he right now? Does let me just start off by saying this. Does LSU have any chance now that they've turned over the coaches and that Corey Raymond's not here?
They got a chance, but the killing part to this, though, and I'm gonna be real honest with you because you're my brother.
Yep. Tag. You know we're live on the show right now.
I know.
Okay. I just want you to. I don't want you to call me and be like, I thought this was just me and you this one. Yeah, I do. I do know you, but you set it up like that.
You know,
yeah, right.
But anyway, they haven't reached out. Well, they just reached out. Well, I reached out to somebody and they reached out to me. But the lack of not reaching out to the number one corner in 2022, that's kind of
doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
And
are y'all committing? Are y'all signing tomorrow?
No. We're not signing tomorrow.
He's signing in February. He's going to sign in an All-Star game.
I think he's going to probably sign maybe All-Star game, but probably February.
Okay. All right. So still some time.
Plenty of time to reach out.
It looks like everybody that I'm reading, everything that I'm reading looks like Texas A&M feels really good right now. Is that kind of what? Are they in the lead?
I mean, they're the ones that were reaching out. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, when you don't when it just pause at the Raymond stop, that kind of they give us like, dang.
Is Raymond
no interest?
Is Raymond blowing you up from Florida?
Raymond? Oh, I talked to Raymond. Raymond a good friend of mine, so we talk on a regular.
Yeah.
Without Denver, but. Yeah, man, that hurt, though. Yeah. Raymond going to Florida, that really hurt. I ain't going to lie to you.
No, I know.
That hurt. Like, I mean, my son really had, like, a bond with Coach Raymond.
Damn.
Tough.
What about Texas? Is Texas making a move on him right now? And what's going on with this NIL stuff? Are people recruiting you through NIL? I mean, he's one of those guys that you can go after and pay. How much is the NIL stuff coming into your discussions?
Well, we really haven't discussed that or talked about that among the other yet, but it just based on like, everybody in the race. Everybody in the race. So I mean, we don't have no specific person we like or nothing, but our dream school, his dream school was LSU.
Damn it!
But Corey Raymond left, so they put a little hole on it. But the thing is, I just got through talking to one of the coaches yesterday, and since Corey Raymond left, that's the first time.
So do you think there's enough time to rebuild the relationship, to like build the relationship?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't on me. I'm a Tiger.
Right.
Like I say, anywhere he go, I'm gonna say I love the Tigers. If he plays anywhere else in the SEC, I love the Tigers. But my son go to this. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And that's my shirt. That's what I'm gonna be made. But the thing is, no, he open discussing anything right now. But like I said, that Raymond leaving hurt.
Yeah. When are you coming to Baton Rouge again?
I'm coming for the Kentucky game.
All right, perfect. Look me up. I got a ticket for you. And then one more. This weekend you play Duncanville, right? This is North Shore versus Duncanville. I mean, they got dogs on every position.
No. They don't have dogs. They got grown men.
Really?
Do you hear me? They defensive line. They can really play probably Alabama right now.
Have a good weekend, bro.
They big.
Keep in touch with me. All right,
Appreciate
man.
you, bro.
All
All right, got you.
All right, see you.
Later.
That ain't good.
That's not how you.
Tag Miner,
Really wasn't.
former LSU point guard.
That's not how you want to end the show.
You hate to. The worst part about that is to hear is that LSU is his dream school.
Well, but
You know what I mean?
that gets tossed around a lot. But
It
this one
does,
feels
but
like
this
one
is
feels
legit.
real.
This is
Let
legit.
Big
This is
Frank get
legit.
in there.
This is legit.
Like a Big Frank work. That's probably called.
That is a good call.
Let
That is a
him
good
get
call.
in there.
You know what? We need to cut that little piece up right there.
And just send it
Just
Yeah.
text that over to our friend.
in the duster.
If you see me today, ask me for A-Bears gift cards. I got them in my pocket.
Make it rain.
All of these are worth $30. If you see me anywhere, and I'm going to be out on the streets today, I got a busy day. I'll be all over the place. If you see me anywhere, you ask me for an A-Bears gift card. I got them in my pocket, and I'll give you one, multiple. Doesn't matter. Just ask me. A-Bears. And don't forget about the holiday gift ideas. If you are looking for great holiday gift ideas, A-Bears gift cards can help you out. You spend $100 on a gift card, you get $30 for free. That is $100 for $30. Spend $1,000, get $300. That's a ton of meat. Have a good Tuesday. We appreciate you being there.
Never mind. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Like I said.
starting a show, bro. Watch yourself.
No, I was just gonna say. Worry about your meat, like the Sean Payton thing.
Okay.
Hey, but you know, it just didn't flow. You know,
Yeah,
whatever.
but you put it out there. But we are we're covering a lot of ground on Mikey's.
Hey,
on Mike.
we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell them what we got going.
We got a
on.
lot going on.
Social media coming up. We're starting to see a
Social
lot
media's
more
coming out. We
blast.
kind of teased it a little bit last night. Work logo is a work in progress. But we kind of have the structure of the show.
Got the name.
We got the name, which is important. We got guests that are
You have pinch
going to
hitters.
come on. We have pinch hitters.
Jeez.
We have guests that want to come on that
She's
are going to
not
come on.
She's not one of them.
Give you a little bit of insight inside of you
Y'all
know,
know y'all
some
love
baseball player. We got some all-stars on tap. We have some you know, LSU legends. We got a bunch of people that that want to come in and talk, and it's going to be loose, it's going to be relaxed, but you're going to get a lot out of it. So
Looking forward to it, man.
I'll let y'all know when we'll put the social out. Y'all follow. We're gonna keep we'll keep pubbing it on here for sure, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little bit different than this show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
sure.
you know, you'll see me moving around a lot more, being a little bit more passionate about things. Standing
Urban
up,
Meyer
talking.
segment.
Yeah, it'd be more like the urban segment. It'd be more about me getting mad about Damone Clark, me talking about, you know, we'll talk lockout stuff with baseball. We'll talk, you know, business stuff with baseball. We'll talk business stuff with sports. You'll get a little bit different.
All
different view.
encompassing.
Yeah.
Jeff Marson says that hurt feelings Tack mentioned sounded very diva. Sorry. Well, Jeff, first off, Tack is the ultimate diva. And I will tell you that Denver is the #1 cornerback in the country, so you go ahead and make your mind
not
up.
wrong.
But that position comes with a little bit of cachet and some attitude with it. You take Denver Harris 10 out of 10 times. Turn on the film. Kid can play.
You certainly talked to him.
Put that little boy to sleep, he said. Put that
Little
baby to
baby.
sleep.
Little baby.
I love it.
All right, have a great day. Hit that like button. Hit that comment button. Share it for us. We appreciate that. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.
And go to movetheudl.com.
Tell 'em.
MoveTheUDL.com. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.